Okay, what is DesignBuildBluff? DesignBuildBluff is a program where, as Jed said, we take graduate students of architecture. There's a question of whether that's maybe too late or in the sequence of things or not. And we take them down to the Navajo Reservation. People often ask me, now, is DesignBuildBluff, is it a program or is it a philosophy? Is it a philosophy of social responsibility, or is it a program that's really trying to teach architecture students how to build what they conjure up on paper? Well, obviously, the answer to that is both. It's really it's both, and it's a lot more than both. I mean, there's so many layers to the wins that happen in DesignBuildBluff. It reminds me of Google, the Google number, which is 1 followed by 100 zeros. Well, I think of our program as 1 win followed by 100 more wins. Really, what I took when I was going to school, what I took from the postmodernist movement, not much, except the philosophy that. I mean, the idea that Venturi wrote in his book, Learning from Las Vegas, is that we got to do away with either or, and we have to embrace both and. And so, obviously, yeah, the program is a program of both and it keeps going on and on and on as both and. As you saw, the students are actually put in a place where they have to learn how to build, learn how to design, learn that design doesn't end with drawings. It maybe just beginning actually with the end of drawings. And when you begin to actually put your ideas into real practice, that's when things really begin, and people, kids are drawing all over the place. The very first project we did were some bandstands, and I actually asked a kid one time, I said, well, how are these things going together? And all of a sudden he goes, wait, okay, and he runs away. And 2 hours later, he comes back with his laptop, and he's showing me this is how it goes. By then, we'd already built the thing. So what we're trying to teach the kids, okay, you have to sit down, you have to script, you have to sketch anything possible right on the site. You have to learn how to speak, how to develop a language that works with contractors. I mean, the biggest joke in the world is, the contractors are always laughing at the architects because they don't know how to build anything. It's a real challenge these days with the advent of the computer, I think, that architects have lost this even the tactile sense of putting lead on paper, of being able to understand what making is all about. So the next question, why Bluff? I was in the mid-90s, sort of disgruntled with the practice of architecture. Began seeing these incredible buildings coming out in the trade magazines from the Rural Studio from Sambo Mockbee, who started at Auburn University. They were building in the Black Belt, which is the border of Alabama and Mississippi. And so I immediately went down there and sat at Sambo's knee and learned about how and what we could do to bring a program like that to Utah. Also, I was reading the book Gaviotas, A Village to Reinvent the World, about Paulo Lugeri's little town that he built in the savannas of Colombia, which is an 18-hour drive from Bogota. He says an 18-hour drive, and actually I had the good fortune of going down there and visiting with Paulo and going to Gaviotas, and I think it was an 18-hour plane flight. I mean, it took forever. We went with the Air Force, and the Army had to surround Gaviotas in order to see it. But it's a village where they've made everything: windmills. They have kids that are seesawing, pumping water, and solar ovens, you name it. It's complete. The grid is so far away, it's not even funny. Also, at the same time, I was thinking that there might be a way to do affordable housing with these SCAFCO off-the-shelf grain silos. So I was practicing on that. I built my office, built a couple houses with the grain silos. I came to architecture through building my own home in Costa Rica. I built a home in the jungle. I was supposed to be writing. I wrote in the morning. I built in the afternoon, and after 2 years, I was writing like for 5 minutes and then building, because it intrigued me so much, the building aspect of things. And then also, I went 4 years to undergraduate school, and 4 years was enough. And then I decided, well, how am I going to get out of here? We came up with a humanities degree, but I had to have a language, so I just said, okay, I'm going to drive to Tierra del Fuego and come back and learn the language, learn Spanish. And so I think maybe that had something to do with my ideas about doing things. I wasn't about to sit in the classroom and not learn a language. So I actually went and became immersed in the language and got a humanities degree. So I was chairman of the Humanities Council. We went to Bluff, and all of a sudden it was as a retreat, and all of a sudden I had this aha moment. I thought, oh my God, here's the Navajo Reservation across here. They have tons of land. We have Bluff, which is an historic district, which is beautiful. We have a different culture, which is the same thing as Sambo had down in the rural studio. And most importantly of all, we had no building inspectors, no permits, no nothing. Okay, so that cemented it for me. So here we go. We moved down to Bluff. Okay, what are we really teaching? It's important to know that in the architecture education at the moment, it's more toward the Beaux-Arts type of education in the schools as the status quo at the moment, where the idea is that there's this one star architect. I mean, it's all studio based, and the idea is that one person, one sort of male person, which has been sort of the way it's been going. It's changed quite a bit. There are a lot more women involved now, but that idea, I think, is probably bankrupt and just does not work anymore. People don't buy it. Everybody can't be a Rem Koolhaas or a Frank Gehry or a Richard Meyer or anything like that. We're beginning to know that it's a collaborative venture. I mean, that's what we're trying to teach. This idea I'm not sure we'll ever get back to the master builder idea of somebody who does both the architecture, all the design and building, or a group of people who do it. More likely a group of people who do it. It's never an individual thing, and you can see it's a process. I mean, we're more interested in collaboration, process, and things like that rather than the final product. Obviously, it's experimentation. As I said, we were lucky to be on the reservation because there aren't people who are going to stop the project because of this or that. We don't have building inspectors really breathing down our necks. We can explore things. We can have fun. We do have fun. It's actually even fun building. The students actually are out there for sometimes 10 to 12 hours working, loving it, come back, have dinner. We have dinner at the house. It's a communal dinner. We all sit down and discuss the day, what happened during the day, and then right after dinner, it's back to starting to draw things all over the place, and goes till midnight. Kids are drawing everywhere. You wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and they're still drawing things. It's really amazing. We're trying to really teach that design never ends. It really doesn't end. You can't really think for any imagination that design ends with drawing. I mean, these kids now are going out into the world. That's the idea. We're using this whole tree branch kind of idea. And as Sambo said, they'll never forget what happened during their educational process in one of these design build classes, because it's latent in them. It's the social responsibility aspect of it, the love affair that's actually blossoms between the family and the students. It's phenomenal. Here we go. We're not really exactly trying to create utopia anywhere. We understand that we're not changing the world. We're not down there changing the world. There are a lot of people, a lot of actual Navajo intellectuals who wonder whether we should even be there or not. Whether, they say, "You want to do us a favor, leave us alone," because they are kind of in a dependent society. They're a fourth world society, what we call them. Third world, completely enveloped by a first world, which is probably the worst possible situation you can have. When you have all these disheveled conditions, no jobs, it's 48% unemployment, 43% of the people there are living below the poverty line. Now, does it work? Does what we're doing work? It's amazing what we've been able to accomplish. We've only built probably 10 houses by now, but we have Janet Yanito, who just made a basket, and she entered it into this competition at the edge of the Cedars State Park. She won first place. She won best in show. Could she have done that without her house? I'm not sure. I doubt it. She said that somebody has offered her $10,000 for this basket. Rosie Joe, the first house that we built, she's changed from a person that you could barely speak to. You couldn't get really between 5 or 6 feet from her, to now this sort of gregarious person. Her house has been published in probably 50, 60 magazines and books throughout the world. And he's going around to everybody asking, and he gets to Rosie Joe, and she says, "Well, oh, that's my house," So she's just so uplifted. It's amazing to me. Audrey, Caroline's daughter, who we built a house for, Audrey actually has been accepted to Phillips Andover Academy, if you can believe that. I mean, come on. And I think it's really a lot because of these houses that we're building for the people. The awards that we've won, AIA Design Awards, AIA Sustainability Awards, are almost endless, really, honestly. Every house that we've built has won an award, which is, quite a tribute to the students. The students, they design, actually, everybody, sort of laughs it off. Hank, of course you design these things. No, I really don't do anything. I have veto power. That's what Sambo taught me, and I use it very sparingly. Maybe like Bush, didn't he used this very sparingly, right? So, and then, the students, we've got a group who've started their own design build program. It's called Imbue. We have another student who started kind of a industrial design program called Plastic Banana. We have a student who's actually, opened a store for refurbished and designed things from refurbished and reclaimed materials. The students, there are firms in Salt Lake City. There are 2 firms that actually have told me that they'll hire an alumni of DesignBuildBluff before they'll hire anybody else. So that's a very super satisfying achievement for the students. I'm so proud of them. They're like a family to me. Caroline always talks about how she thinks about the students as her kids. the students are actually coming down to the res, 5, 6 years after they've been there building, spending the night at the house that they've built, spending the night with the family, eating with the family. I mean, it's working. It's working the way it was supposed to work. These students now have this idea certainly about saving the world, because they're students. They're still idealistic, they're still just out of school, so they haven't been crushed so badly. But whenever I talk to them, they're all anxious about how things are going. I just saw several of them at the Green Building Conference this morning, and they're all willing. They all want to come back down. They're out, obviously have jobs. They come back down all the time. They love whatever's going on at DesignBuildBluff, and they're really, really happy to have been a part of it. The details that the kids can come up with are, phenomenal. There was a SIPS house that we built that actually went up in about 3 or 4 days, and it gave them so much time for design that it gave them so much time to do all the detail work, and I think that's really what it's all about. What the final real sponsorship is in their hearts. Is the details. So what's next is we're going to try to build 9 houses a year. That's our 5-year plan, with 9 universities, 10 students each, and 3 universities of 10 students each semester. So, to me, I think back of Sambo's ideas about it's really not how great you are as an architect, but how good you are, how good in your heart you are. It's not really about your passion for your architecture, although that's very important. It's about your compassion for people. And the plank that we're writing is compassionate sustainability. With all the high-tech stuff we come up with, I think first of all we need to all get along in order to be sustainable. This is the mark we're leaving on the Navajo Reservation, and we will continue to leave that mark and teach the students to. I always have this funny thinking about Banksy and his marks, and we teach the students to tell you to leave through the gift shop. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.